Class 2 felonies. 4 counts of aggravated assault involving a deadly weapon or dangerous instrument, Class 3 felonies. 4 counts of criminal damage, Class 5 felonies. 4 counts of endangerment, Class 6 felonies. 4 counts of discharging a firearm within city limits, Class 6 felonies. And 4 counts of disorderly conduct involving a weapon, Class 6 felonies. I have appointed an attorney to represent you. The next court date is going to be a status conference on September 25th at 8:30 in the morning. The county attorney wishes to make a statement in this matter, so I'm going to allow them to do so. Mr. Leiter?
Thank you, Your Honor. Your Honor, at this time the state is asking for a $1 million cash bond for the suspect. The state's position is that this suspect presents a dramatic and profound threat to the community. There are, of the counts that the court outlined, there are 4 separate victims. And while no one was a victim of a gunshot wound, they were all victims traveling high rates of speed on the freeway. The fear that was instilled in the occupants of those vehicles, as well as the fear that was instilled in everyone driving on the I-10 and Valley freeways for several weeks, was of such an intense nature, and that if this suspect is released or such a $1 million cash bond is not put in place, the threat to the community must be preserved. And beyond that, what this suspect is alleged to have committed creates such a substantial fear in the community at large that it justifies the cash bond requested, beyond the significant prison time that would accompany the charges that he's currently facing. The request is supported, and we ask that you impose that. Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Merritt, based on my review of the information that has been provided to me, first of all, I do find that there is very sufficient probable cause regarding all of these crimes. I am going to impose a $1 million cash-only bond. If you're able to post that bond, you're going to be under the supervision of pretrial services on the electronic monitoring program, which is the ankle monitor. That will be installed before you're released from custody if you post that $1 million cash bond. You're not to return to any of the scenes of the alleged crimes. You're not to have any contact with alleged victims or witnesses. You are not to possess any weapons. And those are your release conditions if you're able to post that bail.
May I speak?
Well, let me just warn you that anything you say can and will be used against you at future court proceedings. People often think they can help themselves by making statements about what did or did not happen. You really should reserve any conversation about what did or did not happen with your attorney, and you'll have an opportunity to talk to an attorney.
All I have to say is that I'm the wrong guy. I tried telling the detective that my gun's been in the pawn shop for the last 2 months. I haven't even had access to a weapon.
Okay, I understand that that is your position, and that was reflected in the Form 4. I will again tell you that based upon the information that was provided to the court, I do find that there is ample probable cause in this matter.
I could never afford that bond, though.
All right.
I got 2 kids, you know.
If you'll step to the clerk, she'll give you your paperwork.
Wow.
That's something that we normally do not see.
You don't see that very
often.
often in a preliminary hearing. The defendant now, Leslie Allen Merritt, who's accused of shooting into 4 separate cars in Phoenix, has been charged with a whole slew of crimes. The prosecutor called him a dramatic and profound threat to his community, and then he said, "Can I speak?"
He did. He said, "May I speak?" And the judge said, you know, just to warn you, typically you should only speak to your lawyer. Anything you say can be used and will be used against you. And Merritt said, "I'm the wrong guy. My gun has been in a pawn shop for 2 months. I haven't had any access to a weapon, and I can't afford a $1 million bond."
Right, can't afford that. I want to bring in Will Carr, who's been following this story. Will, you said you've been looking at this fellow's Facebook page and found out that he was a gun enthusiast. Obviously, there's got to be some evidence here that the police have that's pretty significant, because remember, the judge came back and said, all right, I know what you told the detectives, but based on this, I see significant probable cause that you are the shooter. Any idea what that evidence is, Will?
Absolutely. Authorities have been pretty tight-lipped, but a city councilor has come out. He tweeted that there's a 9mm gun that we're talking about here that evidently was very recently sold to a pawn shop there in Phoenix, and that 9mm has been forensically linked to all of these shootings, and that authorities have evidently then linked that 9mm to Merritt. So as you heard him, that actually coincides with what he said there, saying that with the pawn shops, that he hasn't sold any guns to pawn shops in the last 2 months. His Facebook page does show him with a lot of guns, but again, it goes back to this question of motive. It just really seems unclear at this point. We know authorities are going to continue to talk to him as well as they continue with their investigation, because they say that there are potential other people, other copycats out there right now.
Unbelievable. You don't see that very often in court. Will Carr following the story there from our West Coast newsroom. And as we recap, Leslie Allen Merritt, the gentleman you see there on the screen, charged in the Phoenix highway shootings, $1 million cash-only bond, which he says he can't pay. In an unusual moment in court there, he said to the judge, "You've got the wrong guy."
Yeah,
obviously a big story to follow as this will play out over a long period of time.